New intro. So much love and appreciation to those of you who have been with me for the 2 year period plus that I've been doing this. Thank you for showing your love and support to the channel. And to anybody else who is brand new to the platform and you would like to support the channel, also you can do it by way of Patreon, Anchor, the clothing store, and also the shoe shop that is listed in the comment description below. And again, thank you to any and all of you guys who have been here to support this channel during the 2+ year period. I wouldn't be able to do what I do every single day without you. Cheryl Wright, ex-wife of slain former NBA player Lorenz Wright, pled guilty to facilitating first-degree murder in the death 9 years ago and will receive 30 years in prison. Cheryl Wright made the plea during a hearing in Shelby County Criminal Court in Tennessee. The murder of Lorenz Wright had remained unsolved for almost an entire decade. His body was found in a swampy field in Memphis in July of 2010. He was 34 years old at that time. Prior to the discovery of his corpse, he had already been missing for 10 days. His body was full of wounds when it was found, and it was believed that his ex-wife was the perpetrator of the crime. Cheryl Wright was charged with first-degree murder in 2017 and was set to go on trial September 16th along with her alleged accomplice, Billy Turner. According to reports, Cheryl Wright initially planned to take the life of her ex-husband before the actual murder in Memphis. She allegedly hired two men to assassinate Lorenz Wright in his home in Atlanta, but the assassination failed. She and Turner then conspired together to take the life of the former NBA player. Cheryl Wright, who currently is serving prison time in connection with the death of her ex-husband, former Memphis Tigers star and NBA player Lorenz Wright, has sued the Shelby County Sheriff's Office for $12 million. In her lawsuit, which was filed December 17th of 2020, Cheryl lists 4 defendants, 2 sergeants, and 2 correctional officers, and claims that she suffered cruel and unusual punishment. The lawsuit then claims that she suffered extreme mental anguish and distress. It goes on to say that currently, I suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder, nightmares, and depression, anxiety, along with resulting physical distress. She is suing for $2 million in compensatory damages and $10 million in punitive damages. The lawsuit does not list an attorney. Lorenz was last seen alive on July 18th of 2010 when he left his Collierville home of Cheryl Wright. Germantown police received a 911 call from a cell phone earlier the next morning, but the call was interrupted by gunfire. Wright's body was discovered July 28th of 2010 in a field of Callis Cutoff Road near Hacks Cross in Winchester. He had been harmed multiple times. On July 25th of 2019, Cheryl pled guilty to facilitating to commit first-degree murder and was sentenced to 30 years in prison. She also pled guilty to the facilitation to commit attempted first-degree murder and was sentenced to 8 years. Defendant Billy R. Turner faces charges of first-degree premeditated murder, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, and attempted first-degree murder. Well, when you have a lot of people that will say that, oh, black men don't marry black women and black men don't love black women and we don't do anything to protect black women. Here you have a story like this, which is the complete reverse, right? Where you have a black woman that was married to a NBA star and she decided for whatever reason, I'm guessing money purposes, guessing for insurance purposes, she decided that she wanted to take the life of this black man. Now, mind you, at any point in time, she could have decided to build her own wealth. She could have decided to invest in herself. She could have decided to open up a business. She could have even leveraged his name, his last name, and potentially, gain some type of following, um, online, like a lot of women tend to do when they're married to men who have a status, who have a branding, who have a last name. They will use social media and that man's last name, and they will, create their own platform and different things like that. And from that, other things will flourish. They'll get book deals, television shows, and so on and so on and so on. But for whatever reason, she decided that it was in her best interest that she needed to take him directly off the board. And when I originally looked this up, I just saw the two of them, right? And then later on, they mentioned the co-defendant, right, which was a man that she was currently seeing and or dating at the time, who she conspired with in order to take her husband's life. Like I said before, like it's the craziest thing when people want to take shortcuts in order to make easy gains. So you get with a black man who was an NBA star who worked his whole life to get here, right? He made a whole bunch of sacrifices in order to get to this point. So now that he gets to this point, you decide, this isn't really the guy I want to be married to. This isn't really what I bargained for, but the money is great and I want to keep the money, but I don't want to keep him. So she's like, all right, well, I'm just going to get rid of him, right? And then I'm going to be with somebody who I actually want to be with, right? And no, the guy that she was with, that dude doesn't have no money. That man didn't have no money. So it's like it's crazy. It's crazy to see like how this whole thing played out, right? She could have even took a whole nother route, right? If this was basically all about money. She could have set up there and did with some of the other women do, which is they'll get an NBA player, have a relationship with them, and then oops, they're pregnant, or they might happen to get married to an NBA player, have a couple of kids, and then, decide to divorce. Therefore, now they got, bankroll coming in every single month that they don't even have to work for. Right. And it's all under the disguise of, oh, well, we were married. I carry the kids. We had a few kids. So this is what you have to do. Versus it's basically her wanting to not have to lift a finger or actually work a normal everyday job because she's used to a certain type of lifestyle, right? And like I said, and that's something else that really doesn't get talked about when it deals with stories like this, that you have a lot of women that are just like, all right, well, I'm too used to this lifestyle. I'm too used to the wine and dine. I'm used to, the high class restaurants. I'm used to the planes. I'm used to all of the trips. I'm not going back to what I used to, come from. I'm not going back there. So I'm going to do any and everything possible in order to stay at this place that I'm at right now. And this is when I sit up there and tell a lot of men that y'all got to be careful. This man, he thought that he did. He died at the age of 34 because of her. I'm pretty sure in his heart of hearts, he felt that he was doing the right thing. He felt that he made the right choice, but it was obviously the wrong decision, no matter, how he sat up there and looked at it, because we can all see the end result. And for a lot of men out there, if you got money or anything like that, yo, like I keep telling men, just stay working on yourself. Don't go out here chasing women. Don't go out here and try to risk it all and try to look for a relationship and try to have that dream story of, oh, I was down and out and I was struggling and I had her by my no. You can do that by yourself. You can build. Men have been able to build things by themselves. Like you have men that can build houses by themselves. You don't need a woman to sit up there and help you build a house, to help you make a city, to help you make a town. You don't need that. Like I said before, men have literally worked with other men in order to have a lot of things work. You can, case in point, look at the greater majority of things on this planet. Men sat up there and created it. Men sat up there and laid down the foundation, all of the roads, all of the railroads that we have, all of the holes that were bored, through mountains and underneath the sea, all of the canals that were made, that was built by men. So, like I said before, stay your course and focus on everything else later, because all that other stuff is going to fall in place. Like if follow what a lot of other guys are doing, where they're like, yeah, I'm out here, I'm chasing these women and all this. Like I said, look at their life and look at the life they lead and look at where all their money is going. It's going directly into a black hole to never be seen ever again. You got guys out here recklessly spending, hundreds, thousands of dollars on women that are not even adding nothing to their life. They not doing nothing for them, literally, and just freely just sitting up there giving their money away. If they got it to do, million, $100 million, 100 millionaires or whatever, if they got that money, fine, so big. You could do whatever you want to sit up there and do. But for the average everyday guy, you don't have that money to be just sitting up there, you know, just trying to flaunt and like stunt and just like, oh yeah, you don't. Let's be real, you don't. Because if you actually did have the money, you would be making smarter and more financial sound decisions when it came to, how you're going to spend your money. But like I said, you got a lot of men out here that are more focused on women versus being focused on themselves and trying to build themselves financially and mentally and physically as well. And trying to have something later on. Like I said, a lot of guys need to stop focusing on the now and focus on the later, because that's going to be the big game plan. That's going to be that. Those are chess moves right there. When you're like focusing on, 10 years from now, not the 5 years from now, but the 10 years from now, the 10 years, the 15 to 20 years from now. That's going to be, those are major chess moves. And I promise you, those women that you send up there dealing with at this moment in time, they're not looking that far into the future, because they're looking at what a guy can sit up there and do for them right now, this second, this minute, this hour, this day, this week, this year. That's what they're looking at. So like I said, you better sit up there and start, thinking differently, so that situations like this that happen to this black man don't end up happening to you. Like I said, you can't circumvent and you can't, in a sense, prepare for everything, but you can at least prepare for some things. So like I said, I would rather this not be you. So just let this story, just be a tale of, what to look out for, right? But anyways, let me know what you guys think about the story and everything that I listed in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.